Hello everyone, and I'd first just like to say a really big thank you to everyone at the Business of Law conference for inviting me to speak at your conference today. I'm honoured to be here as your keynote speaker. I'm Michelle Peters, and I'm going to be talking to you today about mastering the business of the legal profession, and specifically about why you need to be as good at the business of law as you are at the practice of law. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering in today's session. Now, just before I get started, let me just briefly introduce myself. I'm Michelle Peters, the business instructor, and I'm the creator of the Profitable Practice Program for lawyers who want more clients and to increase their profits without working more hours. That's exactly what I help the owners of small legal practices to do. My background is I'm a former practicing solicitor from an international law firm in London. I was there for 9 years before I left and went into business, but it wasn't until I went into business that I discovered how little I had learned as a practicing lawyer about things like growing a practice, about things like getting clients, about things like how do you talk to clients in a way that helps them see the value in your fees. These are things that were not taught to me in my professional practice career, and I only learned them once I left the law and set up my own business. So now what I do is I take everything I've learned and everything I've shown clients over the last 8 years that I've been running my business, and I show new lawyers from small legal practices how they can apply the skills and the techniques and the strategies that they need to get more clients and increase profits without working more hours. And everything that I teach is based on results, not theory, and it's based on what feels professional, because as lawyers, we want to be professional as well as being successful in business. We don't want to have to resort to anything that doesn't feel like it fits with our professional reputation and our professional approach. So that's really, really important to me. So quickly, let's talk about the agenda for today. First of all, I want to talk about why you need to be good at the business of law, and specifically the 3 critical factors limiting the growth and profitability of your practice that you need to overcome if you want to be successful in the business of law. And then I want to show you the solution to overcoming those critical factors, which is using strategy and skills to develop the 3 essential elements of a profitable practice. Let's dive straight in, shall we? Let's talk about the challenges, and specifically these 3 limiting factors that affect nearly all small professional practices and particularly legal practices. So there are 3 factors that get in the way. If you don't know what they are, it's hard to do anything about them. So first of all, let's identify them. Number 1, the first limiting factor of a professional practice is usually the model. It's normally a time for money model, and time for money means it can be really hard to grow because on the one hand, we're expected to trade our time for money, and on the other hand, we're expected to do a lot of tasks for which we don't earn money. A lot of tasks related to owning a business, like marketing, like converting inquiries into paying clients, like chasing bills, like managing our team. There's a whole load of other things that we need to do. And if we are the fee earner, the fee generator, and we have to do all these things, then there's a conflict there between earning money and growing a practice. That's the first limiting factor. Second limiting factor for most practices is the method by which they try to grow. So most practices I see think, oh, I need to grow my practice. They think that means more clients, and that in turn means I need to spend more money or more time or more effort on marketing. But marketing may not be the answer to your particular practice's needs. For example, what if you're getting inquiries at the moment, but you're not as good as you could be at converting them into paying clients? The inquiries that come in actually slip through your fingers. Well, in that case, getting more inquiries is not the best way to grow your practice. You need to focus on converting them. And what if you've got good clients, but it takes a lot of time and effort to get them, and then you only earn a small fee from each client? Well, it might be that the thing you really need is to look at how can you maximize profits from each client? How can you do more work for the clients, get more referrals from every client, so that all that work you do getting a client actually brings you more in terms of fee income and profit. Maybe getting more inquiries is not the thing for you either. So method could be a limiting factor. And then the third limiting factor, very much the theme of today's talk, is mastery. So we learn to be great lawyers, and that's great. But when we set up in a small practice and on our own, now we need mastery of key business skills, skills like marketing, skills like converting inquiries, skills like knowing how to make a client profitable, how to think about cash flow and profits and team and time and all these other things. So if we're not good at those levels of mastery, probably because we've never studied them, we've never learned them, then we're going to really struggle to grow our practice. So these are the 3 limiting factors of most professional practices that I see. Now, question for you to think about is which of these 3 factors I've just talked about is limiting your growth the most, and what's the impact of that? When you get clear about which one is limiting you the most, you'll start to have a way, you start to have a focus, and you'll start to be able to think about which one you want to overcome and get you the results that you want. So let's talk about the solution. The solution to getting more of your ideal clients, growing your practice, if you've got model, mastery, or method as a challenge for you. So in order to show you this, I'm just going to jump over onto my drawing app on my computer here so I can actually show you the 3 essential elements of a profitable practice and why you need to have them in place in your practice. So let's do this. Let me first of all show you what the 3 essential elements are. And the first essential element that you need to know about is that you need to have the ability to attract more of your ideal clients. And that means attracting more inquiries from your ideal clients. If you can't attract them to you in the right numbers, then what happens, and I'm going to put it on the opposite side of attract here, I'm going to draw what is the opposite, which is when you have something where you're either find you're in feast or you're in famine. So feast or famine, and you end up on this feast or famine roller coaster going between the two. Ever been in that situation? If you are in feast and famine, then you find that that's because you're not as good at attracting clients. We need to get good at the skills of marketing and speaking the language of clients. That's the first essential element you need. The second essential element is you need to be able to convert those inquiries that you're getting into paying clients at the fees that you want to charge. Now, the reason this is important is if you're not good at converting, let me draw on the opposite side of conversion. What happens if you're not good at converting? Imagine these are units of time, these little circles I'm drawing. And imagine there's a certain number of units of time, half hours, hours, whatever you want to use, a certain number of units of time that you need to spend getting a client, and then a certain amount of units of time that you'll spend doing the work for the client. But if we're not good at converting, then we speak to a lot of potential clients, they hum and they ha, they don't become a client straight away. Maybe they negotiate you down on fees as toing and froing. And what can happen is there's just too many units of time spent getting a client before the units of time when you get the client. So think of these as red, these are non-chargeable units of time here. And then we've got in green, this is where you can be billing. So if we're not good at converting, what happens is there's too many red dots compared to the green dots. So when we get good at converting, what we can do is move the line that way. Is this making sense? I hope so, so far. So we need to be able to attract and convert so that we can have the result of more ideal clients. That's what we ultimately want if we want to be good at the business of law. But there's something else that we need to be good at too, and that is we need to be good at something called maximizing. And maximizing is about being good at making the most of the clients that we get and the assets that we have in our business. So if we're not good at maximizing, let me draw the opposite of up here. What it means is you spend quite a lot of time in your business just covering your costs, making enough money each month just to cover the costs. So the red stands for just covering your costs. And what we don't have is enough of this top slice in green where we're actually making money. In other words, what we're doing is we're spending a lot of time and effort just to survive, when really what we want to be able to do is thrive. If we don't maximize our income from our clients, we'll spend too much time just surviving and not thriving. So that's the opposite of maximizing. And actually, while I'm here, look, we can just draw in the colors here as well. Let me just get rid of that. Let's go back to draw. What we're wanting is more feast and less famine. Okay, so attract and convert and maximize, all 3 are important, because when we can maximize, then as well as having more of our ideal clients, we can have higher profits and we can also get time back. We don't need to spend so much time maximizing. We don't need to spend so much time converting. We can get time back. So attract, convert, and maximize. All three are really, really important. And it's these results, if you want these results of more of your ideal clients, higher profits, and time back, we've got to have attract, convert, and maximize, all three of them working really well in your business, which means developing your skills and your strategies to make them work. Now, I'm going to just show you something. If you don't have all three working, it's like being in a car and trying to drive on a journey from A to B, and you're driving the steering wheel, you've got your foot on the accelerator, but the handbrake is jammed on. If your maximize isn't working, or your convert isn't working, or your attract isn't working, it's like having the handbrake stuck on in your business. It's going to be really hard and slow to get where you want. So here's what you need to do. Either right now or after you've listened to me, think about using my Profitable Practice Accelerator tool. It's called the Traffic Light Accelerator tool specifically, and it's about looking at your attract, convert, and maximize through the eyes of a traffic light. In other words, red light, stop, green light, go, amber light or orange light, slow down or get ready for stopping. So really important to think about it in these three colors. What you should do is you should think to yourself, how am I doing in attract? Am I attracting all the clients that I want? Or is it actually a red light? Is it not going as well as I want? How am I doing with conversion? Am I converting the clients I want at the fees I want? Or is it on go slow? Is it an orange light? In which case, think of coloring it like that in orange. And maybe you're maximized. Think about that. Are you making the most of all your clients? If not, maybe that's a red light too. You'll color it in. When you do this process, what you'll see is where do you have the brakes on? Think of red and amber lights like brakes. In this example, attract and maximize are on stop, convert is on slow. So attract and maximize are the two areas that we need to focus on to improve your practice. So question for you to consider. Where do you have the brakes on? Where do you have red or amber lights at the moment? Because that's where you need to focus if you want to grow your practice. Now, I don't have as much time as I'd love to have with you today, but what I do want to let you know is that when you're wanting to turn these red and orange lights into green lights, full steam ahead, working really well, you need to think about what projects, what tasks, what strategies do you need to implement. And that's where there's space on this diagram for you to write in 3 projects that you could work on to improve your attract, convert, and maximize. I call these accelerators. And in my Profitable Practice program, we have specific accelerators to turn attract to green, convert to green, and maximize to green. I don't have time to share with you those today, but what I do have time to share with you is how you can get some additional free resources from me to help you learn more about the 9 accelerators and how to get good at the business of law and growing your practice. Here's, I put something together for you called the Business of Law Accelerator Pack, 2 resources to help you, both of them are free. Here's how to get them. The first one is a checklist called the 9 Essential Strategies for Growing Your Law Firm Profitably. It's available from my website at this address, www.thebusinessinstructor.com/9 strategies. And that's number 9 followed by the word strategies as one word. businessinstructor.com/9 strategies. If you want more in-depth training than I've been able to give you today, again, register for free for my online training, the Profitable Practice Game Plan, how to get more clients and increase your profits without working more hours. And that's at this address, www.thebusinessinstructor.com/webinar. Webinar, so online seminar or webinar, that's what we've called it. So that's how you can get more resources. That's how you can get more help from me than I've had time to give you today. The most important thing, if you want to increase your practice, if you want to get good at the business of law, is that you need to take action. You need to think about doing training, getting onto courses, developing your skills, being more strategic. It's all about taking action to get results. And if you want to get in touch with me and find out more about how I could help, my contact details are on this slide. My email, michelle@thebusinessinstructor.com. I'll be delighted to talk to you or download any of the free resources from my website. Whatever you do, take action. And so until we speak again, take care, take action. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.